What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I will be going over all the rare options that are available on the BMW e46. If you guys like this type of video and are wondering what are some of the more rare options on other BMWs, I can definitely do a video, but because I have the e46, it's obviously the easiest for me. And a lot of these options before I start can be retrofitted into the car. However, before jumping into the video, I teamed up with eManuals Online to bring you guys discounted manual books for your BMW or any car. These manuals are great. They have so much service information. Sorry if I'm looking down at my phone. All the information's on my phone. It has stuff to do with how to change your valve cover gaskets, specific fluids, like different type of oils a car needs, what type of differential fluid it needs, transmission fluids. One big thing that I've been using the service manuals for are the torque specs. That is a godsend to have the torque specs for all the different components on the car, whether you're replacing the valve cover gasket or you're doing the oil filter housing gasket or any of your pulleys or your wheels. Having the torque spec is a huge thing that is very important to your car to make sure that all your bolts are not over torqued, because if they are, you can end up breaking stuff, and then the next time you go to try to take parts off your car, they can be way too tight. So check the link in the description. This will help save you guys a lot of money if you haven't worked on your car and you guys want to start working on your car. I mean, I'm sure many of you guys do that watch my channel, but however, if you're scared to do some of these jobs, it goes step by step how to do it. So check out the link in the description for emanuals.com. Now, jumping in today's video, you've probably noticed you've seen e46 that have different options and are optioned out different, but in today's video I'm going to go over some of the rare options. I'm going to go over some of the common options that you could get, but I'm definitely going to go over some of the rare options that didn't even exist in the US, and a lot of them I have retrofitted. Some of them are just rare in general, so we're going to go over that. If you guys want to see a video of all the rare BMW e46s, I can do that as well. Just drop a comment below. So starting off with number one, it is an infrared windshield. It's a UV blocking windshield. And if you ever see an e46 that almost has a reflective look on the windshield, it has a blue haze to the whole windshield, you should see a picture up on the screen now somewhere over here. You'll see a picture of what I'm talking about, but this blocks out the UV rays that are coming into the car and helps protect the leather. Matt's e46's convertible has this windshield, and I'm so jealous. I really like it versus the traditional US style with the green or blue stripe at the top. So that is a very cool, and I consider a very rare option that I'd love to have in my e46. Another one is the alarm. A lot of BMWs didn't come with an alarm system from the factory. However, most e46s are pre-wired from the factory, so buying the components at a junkyard are relatively cheap. I got mine for around $30 installed and coded them all myself. If you guys want to see a video on how to do that, it is already installed in my car, but I'll take everything out and reinstall. If you guys want to see a video on that, drop a comment below. Next thing, and this one's super rare, and I think this is more of an option that you just bought from the dealer, and I don't think a lot of people optioned them back in the day because cell phones weren't a thing, but is the OEM cell phone cradle that sits in the center console. I don't know how many people went for this or if it was even like a big thing, but there's definitely the option to have the phone and to have the factory Bluetooth work with it. A lot of e46s don't even have the Bluetooth module, so if you have the Bluetooth module, you can use the steering wheel button. If you're wondering what that microphone button on the steering wheel is, that's what that's for if you had the OEM fitted Bluetooth module. Moving on, the next one is RDC and RPA. So what RDC is essentially TPMS sensors in the wheels to find out if a wheel is flat. Now this was on the older e46, then BMW moved to a thing called RPA, which most BMWs use today, and it actually uses the wheel speed sensor to calculate if a tire is lower. So basically what it does, it sees if a tire is spinning slower than all the rest. It can say, hey, you're low. It doesn't know how low it is. All it knows is one is low, and it throws a light on the dash. Now this can be coded to the car even if your car didn't come with it or you don't have the button. You can add the button, you don't need the button. I coded it to my car. I have a video out on it that I should be throwing up in the cards that will show you how you can code your car to use RPA so you have all of the tire pressure monitor sensors working using the wheel speed sensors. So next I want to talk about is the garage door opener module, or the HomeLink kit. So this was available on all US cars as pre-wired. Not all cars had it. My car didn't have it. Matt's convertible didn't have it. So this module, you can go to the junkyard, cheap, probably 10 bucks, 5 bucks, and all it is, plug and play, and you can code your garage using, you like hold the buttons. There's this procedure that's in the manual of how to sync your garage door opener up, and you can have the OEM garage door opener installed in the car. It's pretty easy. Now, for the convertible that doesn't have a headliner, usually the home link would go in the headliner, as you guys hopefully saw on screen. The convertible has a whole new mirror that gets swapped out. Now, we did this on Matt's car, and the pinout was a little different, but it is possible to retrofit, and the car is already pre-wired for that, no coding needed, so that's pretty cool. Moving on, we're moving on to the trunk. In the trunk, you could have an option for a 6 CD disc changer. So basically, back in the day when you used CDs, you would have 6 CDs that you could swap through and control from your head unit up front, which was pretty cool. Most US or all US cars are pre-wired for this, so if you would like to add this feature to your car, you can. All you have to do is buy the CD player, and you probably find that at a junkyard, again, for super cheap. So I definitely look out for that if you want that. Another option that was available on the e46 was navigation. Yes, in 2000, they had navigation. They had navigation in the BMW e46. That is crazy. They had 2 different units. One was the 4.3, and it was an older screen. 4.3, more of a square screen. And then they updated to a 6:9 aspect ratio screen, which was the newest one that came out towards the end of the life cycle of the e46. And that one was pretty good, and actually even came out like this a little, and you could stick, I think, a CD or something behind it. I forget exactly, but that was pretty cool that e46 even offered navigation. You can buy brand new 2020 cars today and still don't even have navigation, so that's pretty cool. The next thing I want to talk about, this one pertains really only to the M3. From all the research I've done, this only is for the M3, but the M3 offered an extended leather dashboard. So the dashboard was, the lower part of the dashboard was also leather, matching the seats that were in your car, which I think is super cool, having an extended leather dashboard, especially on a 3 Series. I would have loved to have something like that in my 3 Series, but I'm pretty sure it was only in Europe and only for the M3. Now, this one is, I don't know how rare it is, but I think it's basically a Yarrow only thing. And it's having the Yarrow dashboard. And what a Yarrow dashboard is, near the driver's side knee compartment, there's a little cubby that opens up, and you can just store stuff in that. I think that's really cool. All newer BMWs have it now, but that the e46 didn't have it in the US, but in Europe it did. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I wish the US had it. I actually found a dashboard on eBay when I was looking for my black one for the cinnamon swap, and the guy won $500 from it. It was shipped over from Europe and was supposed to go in someone's build, but never ended up happening. All right, now we're getting on to my favorite rare options that are available on the e46. The e46 had the availability of a rear sunshade blind, both in manual and electric. I think that is so cool. It's one of the only things that I don't have retrofitted to my car that I really want. I think that would be the coolest thing ever, to have a rear sunshade, especially with the cinnamon interior to protect it. I'd leave that up all the time. I'm really looking at trying to find the electric one. It's very hard to find, very expensive, and unfortunately, it's just, there's not a lot of places had it. I don't think it was a popular option in the US. I'm assuming more EU cars had it, and I know that you need a new panel up front where your heated seats are, your traction control. Up right where that panel is, there's supposed to be a button if you have the electric one that raises and lowers the electric shade. Now, as far as the manual sunshade, I'm not too sure. I'm assuming you just like pull it up and it hooks up top. I haven't really looked into that because I don't want it. I've just seen them for sale. Those are still very expensive too if you're looking at trying to put that in your car. And the nice thing about this electric shade is you don't need a new rear deck. It retrofits. If you take out your rear deck and flip it around, there's a cutout line right for the actual sunshade, and you just cut it out with a razor blade knife, I'm assuming, or I guess you could drill it out first and then use some sort of saw, but I guess it's pretty easy to actually install, and you don't need a new rear deck. So I'm definitely looking at trying to have a retrofit for that out on the channel, because I think that would be insanely cool. All right, so I have 2 more left. This one, many of you guys know I've wanted for a while, and I finally got it. I think it was last year I got it, but it's power folding mirrors. Yes, the e46 had the option for power folding mirrors, the non-M ones too. You probably knew the M3s could get it, but the non-M cars could get it. Both sedan, touring, and coupe had the option to get power folding mirrors. There are a couple different variants of power folding mirrors for the switches. So there's memory power folding mirrors, and then there's non-memory power folding mirrors. And obviously the coupes have different ones than the sedans in touring. So a couple things to note about the power folding mirrors. I have a video on how to retrofit it up in the cards here. If you're interested in doing it, there are a couple things you need to look out for. So since my car had electric memory seats, I needed to buy a specific switch that folds the mirrors in and out, and the bottom of it's purple. Most US cars that have electric and memory seats have a blue switch with no button to fold them in. So you do need a switch. However, if you have the iBus, if you have an aftermarket radio and have the iBus app is able to control your power folding mirrors through it, and you don't actually need to find the switch. I wanted the switch because I just want every option in the car, but you do not need the switch, just to throw that out there. But there are different switches. There's a white switch for like manual seats with power folding mirrors, which I don't know why existed, but some weird Euro things. I think there's 4 different switches. There's a purple switch, a white clear switch, a blue switch, a yellow switch, and I think a black switch. So I lied. I'm pretty sure there's 5 different combinations of switches that are available for power folding mirrors. All right, so here is the last rare option available on the E46. Probably not that rare in Europe, but in the United States, I think this is a super rare feature. I don't see many E46s with this on it, and if they are, they're usually wagons. It is park distance control. I think that is crazy that the E46 had the option for park distance control, and as many of you guys know, I retrofitted that into my car, and I absolutely love it. On the coupe, I couldn't find a lot in general how to do it unless you had the MTEC bumper, or ZHP bumper as we call it here in the United States. You would need that, and they're integrated into the bumper. However, if you have a non-ZHP or sports bumper or MTEC bumper on your coupe, they make a little bar that goes into the bottom, and if you watch my video, you'll see that you replace it. It's around 80 bucks. You pop your sensors in there, and then you just do all the wiring in the module. If you have a sedan, it has that plastic trim piece that goes around like the side towards the top of the bumper. That's where you can put the sensors in there, or I've even seen it at the bottom stripe that I have on my car. However, just note that the wagon, the sedan, and the coupe, the bottom plastic piece that I'm talking about where the sensors go is a different size for every single one. I bought a kit on eBay when I first got it, and it was for a wagon. I'm like, oh cool, it'll fit. No, it will not. You need a different part number. So just be aware of that. And the last thing to go with the PDC is, well, 2 more things, sorry. There is no shut off button. You cannot shut PDC off like you can on the E39 and E38. Unfortunately, I think it should have been built into that panel. I don't know why BMW didn't. I'm sure there's a way that you can make it work and make a way to have it shut off. I don't really mind it. Usually, if I'm in reverse, I want PDC on. So basically, when you put it in reverse, it engages. The last thing I want to talk about is the actual animation of what sensor, where you're close to, and how close you are in inches is available through the iBus app. If you didn't have the factory navigation or you had the old radio, all you would hear is beep, 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 and when you get close, it go beep, and just like continuous to say you're right on top of an, or really close to something. So this app that I've mentioned before and I have multiple videos on allows you to see visually what sensor's going off and where, and you could probably use this to get it to work for front PDC if you wanted to add that to your car as well. So I know this was a longer video, different style video of me just sitting down and talking. Let me know what you guys think of it. I've had this video idea for a long time. I think this is a very important video to make regarding the E46 because I've had to do so much research finding out different options about what was available on the E46 because as many of you guys know, I want every single option on my car. I don't know, I love technology and I love BMW, so I thought that'd be really cool to have every single option on the car. If you guys have any questions at all, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. Also, go check out emanual.com. I have a link below where you can find all the service manuals for so many cars, not just BMWs. They have basically any car that you could think of. They have a service manual, so go definitely check them out. It helps me out and it helps the channel out, so please check that out. Also, consider subscribing if you love BMWs and E46 and potentially want to see N54 content. That's all I have for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.